Hi everyone. These Islam apologism arguments and arguments that are used as diversions to get the discussion out of Islamic extremism or the problems of mass immigration and into hate speech and racism, they generally aren't that good arguments, but there's one I think is especially moronic because it basically destroys the multiculturalist ideology and completely wrecks the idea of successful mass immigration of Muslims. And it's that hate speech creates terrorists. And this is a popular argument, especially in times of terrorist attacks. When something has occurred, these people like to take the conversation into hate speech, and they basically say that if you have ever said anything nasty about Islam or Muslims online, then you have created a terrorist somewhere, that you are partially to blame for these terrorist attacks. And of course, everyone with a half a brain can hear what's the problem with that argument, like when you combine that with the multiculturalist ideology. But these people, they are so dumb that they don't hear that they are wrecking their own ideology with that. Because what they are saying is basically that these Muslims who come in here, they are so incapable of handling their emotions, they are so incapable of handling the free speech of others, that they simply must start blowing up and stabbing people and driving trucks into crowds of people when they hear something negative said about themselves. And of course, they would never give such a privilege to white people. They would never make excuses like that to say white school shooters or something like that. They would never say that, okay, nasty things were said about them, so it's completely natural that they would do something like this. But when it comes to Muslims, this argument completely paints them as some inferior human beings who just can't cope living in a free Western society, that they can't hear anything negative about themselves. And why would you want such people in your country? Like, why would you want tons of people who can take criticism in your country? Like, why would you want Ahmed as your neighbor if you all the time have to fear that you are at some point rude to Ahmed, you look at him the wrong way and he starts blowing up? Like, why would you want people like that in your country? There's no reason for it. And they also often come up with that, okay, but they don't succeed in our society, like they are unemployed and they are often poor and they feel left out. And how is that an excuse? They would never make that excuse for white people. Like, does that mean that we have to make sure these people have absolutely everything their heart could ever desire, so that they won't start blowing up, so that they won't become dissatisfied with the service around here and maybe steal a truck somewhere and plow through a Christmas market? Like, why would we want such people in our countries? Like, this argument paints these Muslims as even worse people, as the most raging racists think. Like, even the most Islamophobic, like the most racist people, they never assume all Muslims are time bombs, like walking time bombs. But this multiculturalist argument that hate speech creates terrorists, it completely paints all Muslims as potential time bombs, that you have to be especially nice to them because they can take criticism, they can take criticism of their ideology. If you say anything mean about them, they can't handle it. They will start massacring innocent people. Like, that's somehow a completely normal reaction. Like, why would you want people in your country who start mass murdering people when someone is rude to them? Like, that's the dumbest argument ever. But they still use it because they're so dumb themselves that they don't hear what's the problem in the argument. So that's what I have to say about that. Well, thank you for listening. Maybe I'll take on some of these multiculturalist arguments in some later videos too. So bye.